So like I said in the previous video, one of the key reasons that a team doesn't complete their sprint plan is due to poor product backlog refinement. But before I start taking you through product backlog refinement, let's go through some fundamental ideas first. I'm going to take you through the principles of Agile requirements in this video. Now, I have something special for you because what I'm going to share with you in a moment is a video from our Mastering Agile Requirements course. And in this video, you're going to learn about the 5 Agile requirement principles, which will then set the foundation for the next set of videos I'm going to share with you. Now, along with this video that I'm going to share with you, you can also download a poster of these 5 principles. So that will help you remember what they are, but you can also share it with your team and coach them on them as well. So if you'd like the poster, just go check out the description and you'll find a link to download it. All right, so without further ado, let me share with you the 5 principles of Agile requirements from our Mastering Agile Requirements course. Let's begin by exploring key principles behind Agile requirements. I'm going to take you through 5 key principles, and throughout the course, we'll look at how we can apply them. So the first key principle is to accelerate the delivery of requirements to the team without compromising understanding or quality. Now, the big idea here is that if we can get our requirements to the team more quickly, they can get started on implementing the solution, and in turn, we'll get that solution into the hands of our customers more rapidly. Now, by getting it to our customers more rapidly, they're going to give us valuable feedback, which will allow us to learn and also determine if we're moving in the right direction. Now, if you look at traditional requirements, often it's a different mindset. The mindset is to document more comprehensively. And sometimes the thought can be, if we document more comprehensively, then surely we're going to mitigate risk and we will have a greater chance at succeeding. Again, because we've thought through it more thoroughly. However, usually it's the other way around. By documenting comprehensively, it actually takes a lot of time to get those requirements to the team. And over that period of time, what happens to our requirements? They actually change. And what can happen here is either they change and need to be redone, again, wasted effort, or worse still, the team actually takes those requirements, delivers them to the customer, and it's actually not an optimal solution or an irrelevant solution. So, when we're taking on an agile mindset, the idea here is to mitigate risk, not by documenting comprehensively, but instead by gaining feedback more rapidly. And to gain feedback rapidly, what do we need to do? We need to accelerate the delivery of requirements to the team, but how do we do it in such a way that we don't sacrifice the team's understanding or the quality of the output? Well, we're going to use what's called lightweight documentation and ensure that we have the right types of discussions and conversations. So more on that in videos to come. Our second principle here is to see the whole. Our second principle of seeing the whole is about making sure that we don't just solely focus on near-term requirements, but also longer-term requirements as well. By seeing that bigger picture, we can make sure that we've got enough detail for what we need to deliver in the short term while still preparing for what we're going to deliver in the longer term. So the trick here lies in the level of detail that we gather behind these requirements. And that leads me to our third principle, and that is to gather the right amount of detail at the right time. Gathering the right amount of detail at the right time is a crucial principle for agile teams. We want to avoid gathering all the detail up front because that can be counterproductive. If we gather all that detail, like I said before, it's going to take a lot of time and we may fall into the risk of documenting requirements that are irrelevant and no longer valid. So instead, Agile teams aim to have more detailed requirements for those that are coming up in the short term and less detail for those that we're going to deliver in the longer term. This enables them to, again, have a firm understanding of what they need to implement while still being aware of what they're going to implement in future and not wasting time specifying details that might end up changing. So for the requirements that we do document in more detail, we need to make sure that they follow the next principle, and that's to convey the requirements from the customer's perspective. The fourth principle emphasizes the need to convey requirements from the customer's perspective. By doing so, your team will be able to better understand and empathize with those customers. When a team can empathize with the customers that they are building for, they're going to create better solutions. And our last principle here is to make sure that those requirements are sized appropriately. Our final principle highlights the need to size our requirements appropriately. Larger requirements take longer to deliver, and the longer they take to deliver, the longer it is before it gets into the hands of our customers, and that means we don't get feedback as rapidly. So we want to make sure that we are breaking requirements down. The smaller they are, the quicker we can deliver it, the earlier, again, we can get that feedback. However, we do want to make sure that we don't overinvest in breaking down requirements because it does take time and effort. So a general rule of thumb is Agile teams will break requirements down into smaller increments for those coming up in the nearer term. However, those longer term requirements will generally be larger in size. So there you have it, the 5 principles of Agile requirements. Let me know if you've got any questions in the comments below, and don't forget, if you'd like to download that poster to reference for yourself or to coach your product owner on, or maybe to coach your team on, you can find a download link in the description, and also in the description I'll put a link to the Mastering Agile Requirements course in case you want to check out where that video actually came from. Now, would you like to continue your product backlog refinement journey? If so, go check out this video now, and I'll see you at the next one.